Chapter 1. You are listening at FameTV.info. Young master, run. Before the last guard fell down, the voice of tearing his heart and lungs still rolled in /s mind. Night, heavy rain. The climate in the valley is very cold, like the cold blood of in 10 days, from the imperial capital to this nameless valley. 36 guards fell down one by one. Uni dragged her exhausted body forward. The rainstorm slapped on her, but Uni was numb. Step by step, the feet are all muddy. There is no strength. Uni doesn't know what supports him. He hasn't fallen yet. Maybe it the towering hatred, or the figure of the 36 guards who keep falling. There is still half an hour. In another half an hour, I will be 16. Uni murmured that his 16th birthday was of great significance. He just didn't expect to spend his 16th birthday here, but the pursuers behind Uni won give him half an hour. He must find a hiding place in this nameless valley. Uni took a breath and continued to move forward. He walked about 100 steps again. He was exhausted. He couldn't move. He simply leaned back against the stone wall and was ready to observe the terrain in the valley. Creak. As soon as Uni leaned, the stone wall on his back immediately made a creaking sound. Although the sound was very weak under the violent rain, it was clearly heard by Uni. Uni turned around and found that there were many fine cracks in the stone wall behind him, which were piled up by stones. Uni pressed the stone wall with both hands and pushed it down with the last bit of strength. Just listening to the roar, the stone was pushed away directly. Behind it was a dark cave. God help me! Uni was overjoyed and hurried into the cave. The cave was small, but it was enough for him. Looking at the rainstorm outside, Uni remembered what happened to the Cloud family, the lives of the 30.6 guards, and the pursuit soldiers who came immediately. Uni didn't know where to generate strength again. He picked up the stones and piled them up according to the original appearance to completely seal himself in this mountain cave. Soon, more than a dozen figures appeared in the valley. These people had a thick breath and flying footsteps. All of them were the cultivation of Kaling 5 or 6 heavy days. One of them reached the 7 heavy days of Kaling. Captain, the boy must be hiding in this valley. One said. Search, the Marquis has an order. Be sure to catch Uni back to the imperial capital and behead him with the Cloud family. The captain said ruthlessly. Yes, Captain, everyone listen and search for me. A dozen experts searched the valley. They were strong and could not have the slightest impact on them even in the storm. Uni hid in the cave and didn't dare to make a sound. He looked out through the crack in the stone. The captain words were listened to by him word by word, and his fist couldn't help clenching. Uni doesn't understand why the Cloud Mansion, which has supported half of the state of Chu, the loyal Cloud Mansion for generations, and 3 Cloud Mansions that have been famous as marshals of Chi state, have come to this situation today. 10 years ago, the Sea of Clouds was so handsome that the Sea of Clouds crisscrossed the northern desert, frightening the enemy country from acting rashly, but suddenly encountered a stubborn disease. Both legs were wasted, and he could only spend the rest of his life in a wheelchair. That was Uni s grandfather. 5 years ago, the flying tiger Yun Shui stirred up the northern desert with a flying tiger saber, but he accidentally fell in the Battle of Dalong Cliff. That s uncle Yun then Yunfilang, known as the genius of the first day of the state of Chu, was born in the sky and fought in the northern desert again. It took only 1 month to establish the unparalleled reputation of Filong Yunshui. It was Uni s father, the pride of Yunfu and the pride of the whole state of Chu. 10 days ago, the emperor recalled Yunfilang in an imperial edict. Only because Yunfilang drank a glass of wine with the marshal of the enemy country, he was imprisoned in prison on the previous charge of treason and collaboration with the enemy. That night, the Forbidden Army raided Yun s house, caught people when they saw them, resisted a little, and was put to death. Yun Songhai noticed that the situation was serious. In order to protect the last blood of Yun/S family, he asked the 30.6 guards of Yun/S house to take the secret road to escort Yun out of the imperial capital. Up to now, Yun doesn't/T know what his grandfather is in at the moment, whether he lives or dies. He only turns around and sees the steaming flame over Yunfu when he escapes from the imperial capital. The 3 generations of heroes in the Cloud Mansion ended up with such a tragic ending. How sad, miserable. Miserable. Miserable, Yun roared in his heart, his eyes flushed, but he didn't/T dare to make a sound. Captain, I still haven't/T found it. It/S raining harder and harder. I can/T see many places clearly. It/S very difficult to search. There was a noise outside. Keep searching for me. That boy is just a waste who can/T open his mind. I/am afraid he can/T escape anywhere. The captain said coldly, can/T open the spirit of waste? Yun/S mouth overflowed with a sneer. Lingtian continent focuses on spiritual cultivation. Most people can open up the spiritual body at the age of 10, which is called the spiritual realm. If they haven't/T open the spirit at the age of 10, there is no hope of opening the spirit in this life. Like Yun, a 16-year-old man without spiritual enlightenment, is doomed to be mediocre all his life and can/T become spiritual. For 16 years, Yun has been wearing the hat of the largest waste in the imperial capital. Tiger Father and Dog Son have also become a good story after dinner, but no one knows that there are 2 concepts. Unable to open the spirit and not open the spirit. Yun cannot open the spirit because he has never tried to open the spirit in the past. According to ancient books, the innate Tao body, the 16-carrier Tao body, opens itself. That/S right. Yun is the innate Taoist body that has never existed before. Apart from himself, only 3 people in Yunfu know this secret. Right away, I/am 16. Yun gritted his teeth. He had felt that the Dantian, which had been silent for 16 years, began to change. The innate Tao body was about to open. The Tao body is invincible, this is recorded in ancient books, but because the innate Tao body has never appeared, Yun doesn't/T know what it will look like after opening the Tao body. The rainstorm is getting heavier and heavier. It seems that God is helping Yun. After all, under such a rainstorm, it brings great difficulties to the search of those people in black. As time passed, suddenly, Yun made a crisp click sound. If it weren't/T for the torrential rain, even in the cave, the crisp sound might be found by people outside. 16 years, the innate Tao body is finally about to open. Grandpa and Dad, you waiting for me. Yun/S eyes began to bloom with strange brilliance. At this moment, he was not as excited as he had imagined, because his heart and blood were cold. Yun once dreamed of many scenes to open the Taoist body, such as the scene of the cloud house decorated with lanterns, the scene of countless senior officials and nobles in the imperial capital coming to the door to congratulate, and the scene of taking off the hat of Tiger Father and Dog Son. Only such a scene as today was beyond his dreams. But all this doesn't/T matter. After 10 days of hunting and escaping, earth-shaking changes have taken place in the heart of the powerful young master. Buzzing Yun/S Dantian began to agitate. Yun took a deep breath and quickly stabilized his mind. He knew that his most critical moment had come. Yun/S Dantian was soon opened up. In the ethereal Dantian, a white lotus platform emerged. Liantai exudes an incomparably sacred atmosphere, which makes Yun/S Dantian like the beginning of heaven and earth. The sacred airflow surges into Yun/S limbs and bones, making all Yun/S fatigue disappear immediately and full of energy. The moment Liantai appeared, a wave of information poured into Yun/S mind like a tide. Heaven and earth contain nature, and nature produces lotus platform. The lotus terrace has 9 flowers, one of which weighs the sky. These are the 4 sentences containing the innate avenue. Yuni saw that on the White Lotus platform, for equally sacred fonts, 9 lotus platforms, emerged. From the information, Yuni learned that the 9 lotus terraces are the foundation of the innate Tao body and represent the 9 kinds of roads between heaven and earth. 9 holes are arranged on the lotus platform. According to the information, with the continuous change of their cultivation, 9 lotus flowers will grow on the lotus platform. Each lotus represents a different spiritual body. Yuni couldn't /t help getting excited, the of the spirit body depends on people /s constitution. There are many attributes of the spirit body, including gold, wood, water, fire, earth, wind and thunder, light, darkness, stars, evil, kindness, and so on. General spiritual cultivation can only have one kind of spiritual body. In the spiritual heaven continent, those who can have 2 kinds of spiritual bodies are genius among geniuses. If someone can have 3 kinds of spiritual bodies, it is an unparalleled evil spirit, and Yuni /s innate Tao body can even give him 9 kinds of spiritual bodies, which is simply violent. Although the 9 spirits are not developed at one time, this supreme potential is already invincible. It seems that this sentence is definitely not as simple as saying it /s. Hard to imagine what height Yuni would reach if all 9 spirit bodies were opened. And if this terrible constitution is spread, I don't /t know how much storm it will cause. Buzzing the lotus stand moved, and there was energy surging on it. A hole in the lotus stand began to shine, black light. Yuni held his breath. He knew that the first lotus would grow. He would have the first spirit body, and it was a congenital spirit body. The black light is more and more intense, floating on the lotus platform. In these lights, there is a strong dark power, gloomy and terrible. Soon, a black lotus grew up. On the black lotus, there was a strong smell of darkness, which made people feel like falling into hell. At the moment when Halian grew up, a message appeared in Yuni /s mind again. The dark spirit can absorb all the dark forces in heaven and earth for its own use and become the king of darkness. The dark body was opened, and the violent dark forces poured into Yuni /s limbs and all his organs from the black lotus, and Yuni /s cultivation began to rise madly under the impact of these energies. The open spirit realm is a heavy heaven. Kalingjing double heaven. Kalingjing triple heaven. Black lotus carries the most primitive dark energy, which is the source of darkness. There is not much energy above, but the benefits to Yuni are unimaginable. Under the impact of Halian, Yuni /s cultivation finally climbed to the peak of the 5-fold heaven in the open spirit realm, and then stopped. Even if it was only 1 step away from leaving the 6-fold heaven in the spirit realm. In the past 16 years, Yuni did not open his soul, but he was not idle. He practiced his body to a point that was almost perfect, so he was enough to withstand the impact of the dark forces. At this moment, after his cultivation reached the peak of the 5 heaven of the open spirit realm, his physical body became more abnormal under the impact of dark energy. Not only that, Yuni /s momentum has undergone earth-shaking changes. It is cold and domineering, just like the king walking in the dark. Yuni knew that the reason why he was the first to open up was the body of darkness, which was related to his current state of mind. Filled with hatred and unwilling to flow into Liantai, Halian naturally led Mr. Zhang to grow. Captain, their /s a cave here. Their /s news coming out. The boy must be inside. Just then, a voice sounded from the outside. I don't /t know when the rainstorm has stopped. People outside have finally found the cave where Yuni is hiding. Bang! As soon as the voice fell, the stone blocking the hole was kicked open by an incomparably savage big foot, and 2 figures appeared at the door of the cave. This novel has been translated by www.novelfull.com, and if you are reading this somewhere, they have stolen our translation. Listen to the full novel at FameTV.info, direct link in the description.